Guns, car chases, special equipment, these are all what we think of when we hear of a bank robbery. It takes even more skills though, such as stealth like a lion when it hunts, or the intelligence of a criminal guru like street smarts. I've studied three interesting robberies, and they're all quite interesting and they're all different in their own ways. This first one is the Schiphol Airport robbery. It took place on February 25th, 2005 in Amsterdam, and the total amount taken was 75 million euros, which was $103 million worth of diamonds. And it was recorded as the largest diamond heist ever. So, on to the actual what happened. Two men dressed as KLM workers entered the cargo terminal in a stolen KLM car, and KLM is a Dutch airlines company, by the way. After they were in, they intercepted a different KLM truck by use of gunpoint. Detectives said that they must have had some inside help to actually get in there through all the security of the airport and everything. 15 days prior to the robbery, they say that they saw the same guy they saw at the actual heist performing what they called a practice run. And yeah, so here's a picture of the van that was spotted leaving the airport. None of the suspects have been caught, or none of the contents have been found yet. Okay, the next one is the United California bank robbery. It took place in 1972, and at the time this was one of the largest heists in America. It all started with a man named Emil Dincio. He was head of a crew. He grew up in Youngstown, Ohio. He's had a life of crime ever since he was little, and he hit up a lot of banks on the East Coast. And one of his mob associates told him about this bank in Laguna Niguel, which is like a small retirement community out in California. The vault they had to get into in the bank was made of 18-inch thick steel reinforced concrete, and they used dynamite to get through. So they flew out to Orange County and rented a condo within walking distance of the bank. They bought a getaway car along with multiple tools, and they bought the tools at different stores and different times just to avoid suspicion of anything that was coming. And the night of the robbery finally came, and they approached the bank all dressed in black, so that obviously they wouldn't be seen. And to get in the bank at first, they had to disable the first alarm for outside the bank. And then they climbed up on top, and then they had to drill a hole in the bank to get down in. And then, of course, there was another alarm that they had to get through. After they disabled that one, they got above the vault, and then to get in, they drilled 16 holes, and then they put a dynamite stick in each hole. And then, I don't know how they got away with it without the explosion noise or anything, but, and then to make the explosion go downwards, they put a ton of sand on top of each stick of dynamite, and then that made the explosion go downward instead of coming back up at them. And then after that, there's still the reinforced steel that was there, and you had to use a torch to cut through all that. Then once they were in, once they were in, they started ransacking all the safety deposit boxes, getting all the jewels and riches they could get. They realized that there was so much there that they couldn't all take it at once, so they just tried to take as much as they could, obviously. And then Dincio, before he left, he drilled a hole in the lock from the inside out, so that way when they came to the bank the next Monday, they wouldn't be able to open it. And so then they escaped cleanly, leaving only a few tools and an old cotton glove. So after the United California bank robbery, Dincio had gotten back. It was a few months later, and he thought he was off the hook. He was already robbing other banks and everything. But the FBI agents out there around in the area, they called out to every agency in the country, and the Cleveland office said that they thought it was the NCO due to the technique of what they've seen from the East Coast and his other heists. So later on, they were investigating the area by the bank, and they found a car in the vault. They found a car with all the matching tools and a matching cotton glove to the one they found in the vault. And the way they actually got caught was kind of funny. The fingerprints found on the dishes at the condo were the ones that led to the official arrest. So if they would have washed their dishes or something like that, they wouldn't have gotten caught. So he was sentenced to 10 years in prison once he was found officially caught. Last one, which I think is the most interesting, was the Banco Central de Brazil robbery. It took place in northeastern Brazil at a bank called Banco Central on August 6, 2005. And the gang was an estimated 6 to 10 people who were well educated in math, engineering, and excavation. They literally tunneled themselves under the bank and got in from the bottom. They bought a house about a block or so away from the bank, and while they were building the tunnel to reduce any suspicion, they put up a landscaping sign out front, and neighbors had seen van loads leaving each day but knew it must have just been a normal activity for landscaping business. The tunnel was 78 meters from a nearby house out underground. It was about 4 meters below the surface. It was so well constructed, it had wood, plastic, and even its own lighting and air circulating system. So they had to break through 1.1 meters of reinforced concrete once they got in there, in the vault. After the heist, they got away with $95 million. It must have taken multiple centuries to move out all the money, is what they were saying, to transport it all away. So the employees were left dazed and confused when they opened the vault the next day. Most of the money has been recovered, but the thieves haven't. So these were the 3 interesting famous heists by smart criminals. Even a few fingerprints can lead to an easy arrest. All of these criminals are smart during the heist, but not all after. So if you ever rob a bank or something, make sure to wash your dishes, and then you won't be able to get your